When we're going through separation and divorce, it's very easy to forget that it's not only you who's affected, but the children as well who are affected. So what we're going to do in this podcast/video is actually look at how divorce affects children, but also according to age. Okay? Divorce is so traumatic for everyone in the family. For the parents, there's been a path leading up to the separation. And once a decision has been made to separate, the couple each begin their grieving process for the loss of the marriage. So the couple are already way ahead of the children. When children are involved, even if the split is amicable, which it often isn't, children suffer the effects of divorce much, much more than the couple splitting can ever imagine. Keep the following in mind as you walk down this road. 1. Difficult as it is to imagine children, they are grieving too. Their lives are totally disrupted and their behavior might become difficult. They may have had to change homes or schools and lose friends who are usually their main support systems. You know, all this causes more problems and more guilt. Just as much as you have to readjust, the children have the same, if not more, readjusting to do, because remember, you are already ahead. And also remember, as the adults, you have more control over your life. The children don't have the same sense of control and can often be left feeling so confused if there are conflicting decisions being made by the adults. And the other thing that we forget about children is that they have to adjust to a new way of living. It is tough. The adults are able to sleep in their own bed and home every single night. But what about the children? They often go from sleeping in one home to two homes and can then end up feeling extremely displaced, especially if an effort for consistency isn't made. In other words, if the parents are not picking up the child when they're meant to pick up the child, it can become very disorientating to the child, leaving them with feelings of you don't love them. Please remember this. When they have lived in a home with both parents together and have seen their parents as the ones that can fix or get through anything, separation causes a shocking realization that there is something that their parents couldn't fix, and now they are displaced. It is a no wonder there's such a feeling of insecurity and just real deep down loneliness, depression, pushing many children into self-harming. I saw that with our daughter. No matter what the reasons for the divorce or separation, this can be a very shattering realization from a child's perspective. They haven't the faintest idea what's going on or what to do. No doubt going through separation and divorce for children almost feels like the end of the world for them. And can you blame them? Again, put yourself in their shoes. Let's go and see how they are actually affected according to their age. You know, children will react to family separation in different ways depending on the family relationships before separation. The child's personality will also depend on how you as parents manage the situation. Most children, however, will be vulnerable and have very many fears, some realistic and some unfounded, because they're full of unanswered questions. Most will express strong feelings, and younger children will often experience anxiety and fear of being abandoned by the two people who are meant to love them most in the world. That's a scary place to be. A major factor in children's adjustment to their parents' separation is actually the level of conflict that exists between them. That is between the mom and dad. So the more the acrimony there is, the worse it is for the children. Parents, please hear this. The more acrimony there is, the worse it is for the children. So let's take a look at the different age-related consequences of divorce on children. 1. If your children are between the ages 3 to 5 years, note this. These little ones will most likely regress from the most recent development milestone achieved. For example, I remember our little one had been toilet trained during that period. And when we started going through our separation and divorce, she went back to wee-weeing in bed. Wee-weeing is going to the toilet in bed. This threw me off because I hadn't the faintest idea, because I was so caught up in the divorce. Another thing you'll find with children this age, there will be a lot of sleep disturbances and an exaggerated fear of separation from the custodial parent. It is very, very difficult for them. The reason being, she wouldn't leave my side, and I believe that is because of the fear of being abandoned and rejected by the parent who's now left looking after her or them. So moving on to between the ages of 6.5 and 8 years old. At this age, they often openly long for and grieve for the other parent. They have fantasies of their parent coming back together again to live with them. They struggle with the idea that separation from the other parent is permanent. It's just something so beyond them. And what they would really like is for you to get back together again. 3. Ages 8 to 11 years. Now they carry strong feelings of anger and feelings of powerlessness, and just a lot of anger. They will experience grief reactions similar to the loss of the previously intact family. They really feel that they were family and they just want that. Let me just say that again. They experience grief reactions because of the previous intact family. They do not want to go back anywhere because they just want that family that was there before. And they find it very, very difficult getting past what the family was like before to where they are now. And this is so painful to them. It's typical to see one parent as being good and the other a bad parent, depending on whom they were closer to. Number 4, ages 12 to 18 years. These are teens. Teens are prone to responding to their parents' divorce with acute anger, depression, and sometimes have violent acting out episodes, including self-harm. Because they're more aware of their own needs, they become anxious and fearful about their future. It's like, is this what my love relationships are going to be like? Is that what will happen in theirs? Unless there was violence, abuse, or high conflict, a teen has dim memories of what happened during the separation. With our daughter, I noticed that she blocked out a lot of the horrible things that went on. Again, this is a way of the body helping us cope with the stresses that we cannot handle. What causes the most pain for teens and long-term negative effect for children of divorce is actually the sadness of their family breaking up, the anger they were not able to express, and having to adjust to one parent no longer living in the home. You can imagine what that must be like. So here you have the way in which separation and divorce actually affects our children. If you find yourself in a place where the children have been affected, please look for a counselor, a therapist, a professional mental health person that you can take them to. You can go with them and let them go inside, or talk to somebody and talk to them, because they are traumatized and they are in distress. So now you can do something about it. Going through separation and divorce is never easy, but what we forget is that it's never easy on the children. It's worse because their world has been turned upside down. Subscribe if this has been useful to you. Please also comment